I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack them. Rushing like a bullet into the end zone. Defense, hold up, no scoring in the red zone. Throw it up, pick 6, I feel like I'm Josh Rowe. Throwing downs over the shoulder, think I'm Jack Winmo. I need me back to back, trying to be like Vulture. Cause a storm, cause I'm mighty, it's in the culture. Esports TV, YouTube, Twitch, SFL live tuning, you don't wanna miss. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack them. Next level like my entertainment. NXT on the stream, 8 p.m. on the beat. Catch me on the cam like I'm SFL commence. Yeah, you only got one chance, you can never miss. For the glory, revolution, feel my fury. Cause I'm a legend out in Canton, and I'm playing with dragons. I'm the king of this legion. SFL action, tuning this season.
Kickoff! Are you kidding me?
All they're gonna need is
Big pop, it's up in the air! And
Oh,
one,
God.
two, there it goes! Mexico City's gonna win!
Is there a goal? Jason Power! Touchdown!
I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack. I've been waiting all week for some SFL action. On a big screen, I feel like I'm Ashley Jackson. Quarterback sneak, 4th and 3, man, what's happening? Touchdown, championships trying to stack them.
Welcome to Simulation Football League pregame here on this beautiful Sunday evening. Along with Mike St. Green, I'm Cameron Irvine, and good evening to you, Mike.
Good evening, Cam. Great to be back with you, and what a way to end this great week 3 action that we had so far this weekend.
It's been awesome. We'll have some highlights of some of the best games since we were last on the air yesterday afternoon. Terrific game between Florida and Las Vegas, and we can only be so fortunate, Mike, if we get that here tonight between Denver and Fort Worth. Let's jump into it, shall we? The Nightwings and Toros, both 1-1 after the first couple of weeks. Sioux Falls and Motor City kick off in half an hour. That's an interesting game. But Mike, this Denver-Fort Worth game should be a pretty good one.
Should be a pretty good one, Cam, and I'll tell you one thing that they do have in common coming into this game off of last week is that both defenses combined to allow 0 points last week in the second half of their games. They did it in different ways offensively. Fort Worth kind of struggled a little bit to score themselves last week in the second half, only putting up 6 points. But Denver, they did it in a dramatic fashion, scoring 22 points to come back and win a big game against Louisiana at home last weekend. So I expect great things out of these defenses. Denver, a little bit better on the offensive side. Should be an interesting matchup, as you mentioned.
Yeah, 54.5 is the over-under tonight for Denver-Fort Worth. Is that a little high? We're talking like 27-28 with that.
It sounds a little high to me, Cam. Fort Worth, the defense kind of looks like the defense from a couple of seasons ago when a lot of people were predicting them to contend for a championship, even though they kind of fell short that season. But they're starting to look like they're getting into that championship form that we saw from that defense a couple of seasons ago.
So Denver-Fort Worth is coming up next. It just wrapped up about 10 minutes ago, but Mexico City routs Arizona 45-24. It was the first home game for Mexico City since the passing of Matt Wilson, their quarterback and the league's all-time leader in passing yards. Had a great touchdown to Mike Daggs. Hopefully, if we get those highlights, Andy's call of that touchdown was terrific. But Mexico City got the win and improved to 2-1 on the season. A fellow South Division rival of you, Mike, and you get to see another one here tonight.
Yeah, Mexico City did a great job bouncing back off the loss to Houston last weekend. Emotional game, still over there in Mexico City for these guys. Put up big numbers against Arizona and has themselves in good position in the Tex-Mex division. 2-1. No matter what happens today, they'll be right there at the top with everyone else in that division.
Estadio Matt Wilson now in Mexico City. Hey, we haven't gotten a chance to touch on Sioux Falls and Motor City just yet before we had to break and send things down to Texas. This is an interesting Motor City team. They played very well against Tulsa in Week 1. They did not play very well against Queen City in Week 2, who has not won since. And then you got this Sioux Falls team that just doesn't allow anyone to throw the ball at all. How do you see this one playing out?
What's the over-under for this one, Cam? What 20? I mean, I don't expect
it's pretty
much.
low. It's pretty. I think it's 40, 47.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect from this game. Motor City, they came out Week 1. Ibrahim Kraita, he led the league in passing that week, 444 yards. I think that surprised everyone.
Yeah.
Phil Cost, the tight end, he's been great so far in the early going. So a lot of people expected him to run the ball. They haven't really run the ball much. So they've come out with a lot of short passing games and things like that with the offense that they're running. We'll see what that great secondary over in Sioux Falls, how can they adjust and what can they, knock Motor City off of their game plan. It's going to be an interesting matchup. I expect it to be low scoring and possibly lower than that 41.5.
Well, one thing's for sure, Mike. It may be low scoring, but the only 2 touchdowns in the game will come right as we go to halftime, and so that we could struggle trying to get highlights of it over to you for you. But Damon Simeon and Eddie Gage have the call for this Denver Nightwings and Fort Worth matchup. It should be awesome. We will be at Stockyard Stadium on the other side of this break. This has been Simulation Football League pregame presented by APN Music, and we're back after this.
Next Level Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the Simulation Football League.
We're in North Central Texas at Fort Worth, where we have the Toros. We're going to be hosting the Night Wings from Denver. Everybody, take a look at this drone shot here in Fort Worth as the sun gets ready to set. I'm your play-by-play commentator tonight, Damon Simeon, and alongside me is my good buddy and main man, Eddie Gage. Eddie, introduce yourself to the people. think we're having some audio issue with Eddie Gage, but hey, we're rolling. We'll get it situated here in just a moment. But as we stated, tonight's matchup between the Fourth Ward Toros for 1-1, bringing in the Denver Night Wings, who are also 1-1 as well. Looking for this matchup here tonight between these two teams, non-divisional teams going head-to-head tonight. And we're going to take a look here at the coin toss and look at Marcus Dunhill there, the Hall of Famer who was just inducted a few weeks ago in Las Vegas. Looks like his heads and the Toros has elected to kick. Well, everybody, we're ready to get tonight's matchup underway here. As you already know, this is between the Fourth Ward Toros and the Denver Night Wings. The Toros are basically in all blue helmet, blue jersey, blue pants with gold trimming and white jersey numbers. Gold jersey numbers. The Denver Night Wings, black helmet, white jerseys, black numbers, black pants with white and blue trim. Here's the return here for the Night Wings inside of his own end zone. And Bryce Battle brings that joker out to the 22-yard line. Denver starts off with the first possession here as we get things away. The offense for the Denver Night Wings, we have Eric Price is your quarterback. Halfback is Bailey O'Shaughnessy. Fullback is R.E. Mills. Your wide receivers, Bryce Battles, Raleigh Quintero, Logan Keel, and McCallie Foster. The tight ends are Jeremy Mosley and Brian Murphy. Get to the defense of the Toros here in just a minute. There's a trips to the right here of Price. Two-step drop, dumps it off to O'Shaughnessy out of the backfield. Spin move, makes a man miss before making another attempt to miss there. And he's going to be tackled and brought down at the 26 after picking up 4 yards on that reception.
Dallas showing a great job of bringing in that protection over there, getting over there in a hurry to bring him down.
Great tackle there on the play. Glad to have Eddie Gage back. Got the audio working and everything here. Defensive end here for the Toros, Jeff Duffy and Jabril Curse. Defensive tackles, Luke DeGond and Jerry DeGond. We'll get to the rest of the defense in just a moment. There's a play action and a dump off to O'Shaughnessy. Denver has made this play their bread and butter play, Eddie Gage, where they do this play action and dump it off either to O'Shaughnessy out of the backfield or even to R.E. Mills, who's mostly time lined up in the trips.
And don't forget about Raleigh Quintero, who runs the 8-yard out route as well.
Absolutely. Linebackers, E.K. Vincent, Noah Rieger, and J.L. Browning. We'll get to the secondary after this play here. There's a awesome, nice, beautiful pass there from Eric Price, and it drops right into the breadbasket of Raleigh Quintero.
Right into the breadbasket. He floated that ball out there for a moment there. I thought he put just a little bit too much air up under it, but Riley is able to bring it in before the defender can close it on the football.
I hate to get to a movie this quick in the ballgame, but do you remember the movie Rookie of the Year?
I do.
When the mom told the kid who was on the mound, he had something going on with his tendon, and she tells him to float it. That's exactly what that looked like. Wow, what a blow-up tackle there by 53 Duffy, the defensive end.
Jeff Duffy been around for a long time in the SFL. He's seen it all. He was not fooling the play.
Secondary, Adam Leach and Nacho Sicario are the cornerbacks. They have 4 safeties. Ben Stone and Remington James are the free safeties, along with Doug Day and Delaney Nash, the strong safeties, that is. There's a dump off here to O'Shaughnessy again out of the backfield, and he's going to pick up 4 yards there. 3rd and 9 now. Eddie Gage. Oh, and it looks like O'Shaughnessy's slow getting up.
Slow getting up, but he's a young man. He knows he's only been in the SFL for a few seasons now. He should be fine. Rub some dirt on it.
Oh, do I miss you? Here's Price now. Shotgun formation, going to go gun straight here. Look out for the tight end on the line of scrimmage, Jeremy Mosley. And there's a dump off here to the wide receiver, Bryce Battle. Picks up the first down.
90-yard slants, a staple in Denver offense back when Jeremy called the offense, and even now here today.
Absolutely great pass there by Eric Price. Eric Price has been with this Denver team for 3 seasons, been in the league for 3 seasons as well. And Price has basically been slowly progressing and getting his name known throughout the league here. Here's a handoff here to O'Shaughnessy in the backfield. No, it's not going to be O'Shaughnessy. It's going to be the backup running back.
And you can tell right out the gate, as soon as they snapped the ball, the backup was in because his fullback was about 6 yards ahead of him.
Yeah, the Skeeter Baja on the carry there. Loss of 2 yards. Well, loss of yard there, should we say, on the play. They're going to go weak eye. I'm sorry, they're going to go strong. They're going to go I formation, weak eye formation here. And off here to O'Shaughnessy. Big open hole. There's a block there by Mills down the field. 10, the 5 breaks the tackle, and then he crosses Hollywood Boulevard. My goodness. What an outstanding block there by the fullback Gage.
And that block was made possible because Fort Worth failed to set the edge. In football, you don't want to create the edge. You want to set it right off the back. You don't want to get the offense time to set up those blocks. They did not get their outside shoulder set up. And just like that, Denver marches right down the field to go up 6.
My goodness, what a run there by Bailey O'Shaughnessy. I mean, O'Shaughnessy basically just had the open field to himself after the big block by R.E. Mills. And, I mean, he has to give credit for that touchdown run to Mills there because that was an outstanding block by Mills on that play. Just like that, the Denver Nightwing goes up 7-0. Here of the Toros at home. What a shocking drive there, Eddie. Are you shocked by that drive, or was that something you were expecting to see Denver to do coming right out of the gates?
Oh, nothing surprises you in this league anymore. I mean, again, it's the first drive of the game. Both teams still trying to figure each other out. But it's early here in the first, and we'll see what kind of adjustments they make once they start talking to their coaches.
There's the return there by Charlie Baker, and Baker is tackled and brought down at the 29-yard line. Here are your Fort Worth Toros starting offense. Quarterback, Marcus Dunhill. Halfbacks, they have 2 of them, Jason Williams and J.Z. Bacon. Fullback, Aaron Alexander. Your wide receivers are Cade Stevens, Charlie Baker, and Stephen Hacker. There's a total of 3. And they have tight end Robert Garrett Jr., also known as the Cowboy. And they have a guard, Frank Burks. Those are your user players who are under contract for the Fort Worth Toros. Here's Jason Williams, and Williams in the backfield for a 1-yard loss.
Very important for Denver to get in contact and get to know Jason Williams very well in the backfield, because once he gets out in open space, he can be leaving you.
That touchdown by O'Shaughnessy would be his 3rd on the season. 4-3 defensive look here. They're going to shotgun. Is the Toros. And this looks like not Kings here. This is going to be a out route down to the bottom of the field. And there was a spin move there. My goodness, what a move there by the wide receiver, Cade Stevens, to keep the drive alive by getting the first down after that spin move attempt.
Cade Stevens wants nothing to do with that sideline, as we all know. Ask Andy Hamilton. He'll tell you himself. Stays in bounds and picks up a few more yards.
And this is when the progression comes into play here. When you increase certain progressions for your player, and that player won't force themselves out to the out of bounds of the sideline. They tend to stay inbounds when you increase the correct attributes for your player throughout the season. Here's Dunhill, 2-step drop, out route to the top of the field. That pass is going to be complete. It's to Stephen Hacker, the number 1 wide receiver on this team, and also the majority owner here for the Fort Toros.
Stephen Hacker has been trying to retire for a few seasons now and pass that mantle of the number one receiver on to someone else. Perhaps next season we'll see it, but right now he's still out here making plays.
I can still remember the career game he had a couple of seasons ago when he played for Queen City. My goodness, did he put on the show that night. And then on top of that, it was in the rain. Here's a handoff here to Williams, and Williams, spin move out his way out of that. Picks up a yard or 2 there. Now down to Denver's 45-yard line, and it's 3rd and 1.
3rd and 1, very manageable play. You can pretty much do anything you want to do here. Let's see if they decide to feed Williams.
Here's a handoff here to that was Williams, and Williams stood up right at the line of scrimmage. We have not seen J.Z. Bacon as of yet, and Fort Worth is going to be forced to punt the ball away.
And it was very unfortunate because Denver actually had both outside linebackers outside the tackles, expecting to run to the outside. But because of the great play of their nose tackle, able to bring them down. But look at this. They're going to try to drive them off sides here on 4th and 1.
Total of 26 yards gained here on this possession for Fort Worth. They're going to go 4th and 1 at Denver's 45. Where they snap the ball here. Jay-Z Bacon is in the backfield, the number 2 running back on this team. One of the few teams that have 2 running backs here in the SFL. And they're going to call a timeout there. Just me personally, I think that's a blown play because you're wasting a timeout so early into the ball game.
Yeah, you just hope it doesn't come back to bite them late in the second quarter if you're a Fort Worth fan. So they need to put a drive together right before the half.
On stats, we have Delaney Nash and Jerry DeGon working stats for us. Thank you, gentlemen, so much for your contribution here to the SFL and the statisticians for helping us out and making us broadcasters look smarter than what we really are. Because without you guys, there's no way I can add up all that math in such a short time. I have an education from the Houston Independent School District, if that means anything.
Great punt.
There's an outstanding punt. Oh, no. All you had to do was just grab it. You didn't have to continue to run it.
Or just lateral it backwards.
Denver's going to take over here at their own 20. Take another look here at Eric Price and the offense of the Denver Night Wings. Caught in the signal. Looks like blitz going to come up the middle. Handoff here to O'Shaughnessy. O'Shaughnessy is hit right at the line of scrimmage. They're going to give him forward progress there, though. As he was tackled and brought down by Nacho Sicario, the number 2 cornerback on this team.
And Fort Worth on that play came out in what they call a 4-3-2 corners, basically trying to protect the edges, stop those outside runs. It can be difficult when they run up the middle, but this time they were able to contain it.
2nd and 10 here for Denver. They come out in a split spreads formation here. Watch out for the guy in the slot there. They're going to go over the top. That pass is intercepted by Nacho Sicario.
Sicario with a great athletic play, reads it all the way. Sitting there, look at the quarterback. You got the receiver in front of him, so he doesn't have to do too much work. The quarterback actually does the work for him, throws it right to him, and his receiver in that instance has to play like a DB and just knock him to the ground.
Yeah, you stated he made it an outstanding catch. You asked me, I think it was more acrobatic than anything. The way he got up, turns his body completely around and forced a turnover. 4-3 defense. Look out for the cowboy in the slot. Here's Williams, and Williams goes nowhere.
And you can tell that Denver, unlike the Arizona Scorpions, are putting an important emphasis on limiting the production of Jason Williams here today.
Defense here for the Denver Night Wings. Defensive ends are Marlon Marshall, Hugo Reynosa. Defensive tackles is Gene Benaza, Igor Barbatov, and the linebackers. We'll get to them in just a minute here as we go to the next play. Here is a 2-step drop here by Dunhill. Dunhill dumps it off to the flats, and that is an out route picked up for about 7 yards. They're 3rd and 3 now. Cade Stevens, I'm sorry, not Stevens, that was Baker on the reception.
50X spot, Damon. I don't think there's a team in the SFL who doesn't have that in their playbook somewhere.
Well, I tell you what, this week preparing, Houston removed every 50X spot out of their playbook, and I wish I wouldn't have did that. That's another story. Oh, that pass is deflected away, almost intercepted by the outside linebacker, Rob Foraker.
Yeah, that should have been picked off. They had a couple of opportunities there to bring that one in, but was unable to do so.
Linebackers here for Denver, Ramiro Morales, Rob Foraker, Stephon Fork. Your secondary, Ron Hoff, Nick Kindler, and Tyson Throne, or your corners. Your safeties, TJ Forsty and Savon Williams, or your free safeties, along with Josh Neal at the strong safety spot. And then you have Mason Remy, who is the kicker here for the Denver Night Wings. There's a kicker also for Fort Worth, which is Amelia Rose.
Denver's going to get another crack at this to try to make this a 2-score lead here in the first quarter.
Yeah, they're going to have possession here at the 11-yard. It's not too bad. I mean, they are pinned pretty deep. but not as deep as inside your own 5. So we can see them go with any variety of plays here, starting from the 11-yard line. There is a 5-step drop here by Price. Price jumps off across the middle of the field, and that's going to be to tight end. I want to say that's, I can't see that. That is 82. That's going to be Logan Keel, the number 1 wide receiver for this team.
Fort Worth dials up 2 corners here again, and actually is a great play call for that particular offensive set. However, the cornerback just got left right at the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 5 here now for Denver. Tight end in the slot. They're going to go weak eye here. There's going to be a stretch. Oh, nice block by E. Mills. R.E. Mills again. Picks up the first down is Bailey O'Shaughnessy.
Yeah, you can see R.E. Mills there trying to get out there in front. If he could have got his shoulder square, then perhaps the tailback is still running. But nonetheless, it's going to be a first down Denver.
Price is 6 for 7 to start the game here. With an 85.7 completion percentage. Handoff here to O'Shaughnessy. Open daylight. 1 man to beat. Crosses midfield to the 40. Now he's tackled and brought down at the 37-yard line. Oh, what a touchdown saving play there by the strong safety Delaney Nash.
And that was a slow developing run play, DeMar. He actually had to cross about 8 yards of grass just to even get his shoulder square and cut up field. But due to the great blocking by this offensive line of Denver, he was able to do so. And Denver, just like that, flipped the field.
Yeah, it looked like there was a strong power O there coming from Denver. I could be mistaken. It could have been just a regular power O, but the big boys were pulling on that play. And they basically opened the doors for Bailey O'Shaughnessy to get open into midfield. And here's a handoff here to the fullback, R.E. Mills. You don't see this very much here from Denver.
7 yards out of your fullback on an ISO play. That's just something you just don't see every day in the SFL, unless you're the Carolina Skyhawks, who lately, Hattori Hanzo, has just been running ragged downfield these past couple of weeks.
I was blown away when I saw that stat line from Hanzo last week. Handoff here to O'Shaughnessy. Oh, he gets skinny there. Spin move. Nowhere to go after that spin, but he does pick up the first down to Fort Worth's 24-yard line. And basically, Denver has been controlling this game so far, Eddie, with the run game. O'Shaughnessy, 80 yards on the ground so far on 5 attempts only.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, you're going to have to shore that up if you're a Fort Worth Toros fan, because otherwise it's going to be a long day for this defense.
1st and 10 here for the Night Wings at Fort Worth 24. Another sweeping play here for O'Shaughnessy. O'Shaughnessy is hitting the backfield, is going to lose a few yards there.
And that's a perfect example what I was just talking about. They come out again, the 4-3 defense, run 2 corners, and they're basically setting the edge with their cornerbacks, bringing additional help up there along with the defensive ends to shut down those edge rushing plays, and they do a great job right there, tackle for a loss.
Yeah, give credit to E.K. Vincent, the veteran linebacker here for this Fort Worth Toros defense on that tackle for loss there. There's another tackle for loss, or should I say right at the line of scrimmage. Nacho Sicario in on the play. And that's going to be end of the first quarter. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. We'll be right back. 3rd and 12 here for the Denver Night Wings. Everybody, welcome back to the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. You're watching live on NXT, Next Level Sports. Here's Price. Shotgun formation, goes to the corner, post that passes intercepted. Nacho Socorro with his second of the night. Yo, got a big broad there down the field, and this is going to be a pick six for the Fort Worth Toros. Nacho Socorro is about to cross Hollywood Boulevard.
And that was about a 97 to 98 yard kickoff return. Fort Worth comes out in a 4-1 down runs, cover 12, which oftentimes leads that corner too far back to make a play on the ball. But Nacho, smart, he's been around for a while. He didn't sag back too far deep. They make a play on the ball, make the man miss, and he is off to the races. And shout out to that man's stamina. You can tell he's been in the weight room working on those parachute drills because he did not get tired. He was not allowed to be caught from behind, and it's a touchdown for Fort Worth.
Wow, talk about a way to get on the board. An explosive play from your defense to get the crowd back involved here in this stadium as it was quiet. Oh, it was quiet. And that pick six basically just lift up the entire defense of the Fort Worth Toros, like basically the entire team there. They get themselves on the board here with that pick six return. There's the extra point attempt. The kick is up, and it is good. Now we had an all-7 ball game here, and Eddie Gage, man, I mean, you just shared your thoughts on it, but wow, what an outstanding return by Nacho.
Yeah, and they needed it because Denver was threatening to go up 14-0 here and take the sails out of this crowd. But once he got that pick six, they got right back into the fold.
If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing games into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulation, as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at www.simulationfl.net, where the SFL, we put the fan in fantasy.
One of the best lines the SFL came up with. Whoever made that, I hope it's trademarked.
I hope it's trademarked too. You took the words right out of my mouth. I'm going to go weak jokers here from Denver. And off here to O'Shaughnessy. Gets outside, spin move there, picks up 4 yards on that carry. 2nd and 6.
And I was actually concerned that he might be off to the races because they shifted the linebackers to the strong side of the field. He ran that stretch to the weak side, but they did a great job closing in, fighting through traffic, and making the tackle.
Second and 5 here for Price. Price is in shotgun formation. Got twins to his left. There's an inward pass right across the middle of the field, and that's going to be completed. Picks up the first down.
Yeah, you can see there on the replay that Fort Worth actually read that play, but they were just a bit slow, didn't trust his eyes, and as a result, it's going to be a first down for Denver.
First and 10 here for Price. Takes a 5-step drop out route. Oh, he screwed Adam Leach. I'm not sure if you saw it, man, but Leach was lost.
Well, he was lost because he got caught in the zone, and they did what's known, even in the NFL circles, they flood the zone. There's only one defender over there. He's responsible for 2 people, and once they cross each other up, he was in no man's land.
First and 10 here for Denver on that play there. Current drive, 3 yards, 14. I'm sorry, 3 plays, 14, or 33 plays, 30 yards. Here's Eric Price underneath the center. Split back. O'Shaughnessy, nowhere to go. Loses 2 yards. My goodness, he got hit in the backfield by a host of Toros.
And I'm not sure what Fort Worth saw on film, but they came out again with that 2 corners look, taking away the edges. And if Denver's going to have some success, they may have to need to run some plays with the middle to get them out of that.
Noah Ragier on the tackle.
Here it is again, Damon.
Weak eye jokers. 4-3 is the defense. Handoff right up the middle to O'Shaughnessy. Oh, he almost, if he gets that block right there on Adam Leach, I think he's to the house.
And they did it again, Damon. Came out in that 2 corners look. It takes away those stretch plays. But if you can make that first man miss up the middle, you are looking at his jersey, and I'm talking about the back of it.
One thing I noticed about this defense is that they love to play man coverage with these corners and run a lot of zone underneath. There's a pump fake by Price. Price that passes deflected away. 4th and 9. They're going to have to settle for a punt here as they get ready to kick it right back to the Toros.
And that's great defense by Fort Worth, as the defensive line gave them no help. It took them a while to even generate any kind of pressure. So for them to remain that close to those receivers for that long, that's an impressive job by that secondary.
Keto Vasquez comes in to punt the ball away here back to Fort Worth. 4th and 9, second quarter with 8 minutes exactly on the clock. No fair catch here. Should have fair catched it that. Let it bounce down to the, looks like the 6-yard line that is. And this is where Fort Worth would take over. What can we get from this Fort Worth offense, though?
Well, it starts with Jason Williams, in my opinion. You got to get that man going.
Yeah, absolutely. You most definitely has to get him going, because Jason Williams was the guy who basically held the offense together last week in the big win over Florida that Fort Worth came away with. Look out for Nacho. I'm sorry, not Nacho, but the Cowboy, Jason Garrett in the slot there. Oh, my. What a nice 3-yard loss on the play for this defense of Denver. And 56, Marlon Marshall come away with that tackle. And I want to say it was Benaza as well on the play. Number 99. No, Reynosa, that is, 99 also. Right at the 3-yard line is Fort Worth. Split backs or the halfbacks, Williams and the fullback, Aaron Alexander. Here's Williams. Right up the middle, spin move. He get horse collared. No flag on the play, though.
Well, that's that no fun lead, Damon, over there. That's a 15-yard penalty and maybe even ejected from the game. Out here, it's man up, suck it up, and keep moving.
My goodness, that play remind me of from the movie The Longest Yard. I want to say it was Nelly was running the ball, and all of a sudden one of the guards grabbed him horse collar, come here, and just threw him in the dirt. Just Yo, ref, you didn't see that? I didn't see nothing criminal. Okay, there's a 5-step drop here by Dunhill. They're gonna go weak 8 screen. Oh my, what a juke move by Jason Williams.
Nick Kindler right there had him in his sights, and in the blink of an eye was trying to figure out what happened and how he got past him.
My goodness, shoot. Yeah, that's what happened. You stated with the blink of an eye. You blink, and he doesn't, and your ankles are broken. 3-3 is the defense here from Denver. Handoff here to Bacon. Bacon is hit right before we get to the line of scrimmage, that is. Jay-Z is the alternate halfback here for the Fort Worth Toros.
That play was intended to go to the right side of the center next to his hip pocket, but unfortunately for them, Fort Worth got great push up front, had to bounce it outside, and there was nowhere to go.
2nd and 11. They come out in jumbo package. They're going to go wing, strong eye wing jokers here. Looks like a blitz coming on. They're going to go weak, 58 screen. Bacon hit hard in the backfield for a 1-yard loss. And my goodness, you got to give Ron Hoff credit on that tackle.
A lot of teams are afraid to play cover 2 defense because they're thinking about the receivers running past them, and you end up getting nickel and dime to death. But if you take that chance, put it in your playbook, you limit the damage of plays like that from occurring.
3rd and 11 here for Fort Worth. 2-step drop here by Dunhill. Out route. That pass is going to be completed, but not enough. 4th and 5 now. Stephen Hacker on the reception, and Fort Worth's going to punt it away.
Going to punt this away, and that's a shame because they actually looked like the slot receiver was open on that play and did not look to him. Charlie Baker could have picked up that first down.
Total of 5 plays for 18 yards on the current drive, as this one stalls out with 6 plays, 18 yards.
Yeah, Fort Worth defense is keeping them in this game so far.
Defense for Fort Worth is the only score come about for this team. Yeah, they brought some pressure there. There's going to be a fair catch here for Denver. And Denver's going to start out probably with the best field position all game long for either one of these teams.
Yeah, for either team, man. With 5 minutes and change remaining in this first half, a fast-moving first half, the one I might add, Denver's looking to try to crack this tie.
First and 10 here for Eric Price and the Denver Nightwings at Denver's 40-yard line. They come out in a bunch formation, base bunch that is. Look out for Jeremy Mosley, the tight end, atop of the trips. There's an out route to Bryce Battle there, picks up 7 yards on the out route.
On the out route, you're right. Able to turn his hips, get upfield, and pick up a couple more yards. Looked like he was headed for the sideline there, but his athletic ability picked him up a couple more.
2nd and 3. That was a look there at Adam Leach. Adam Leach is probably one of the tallest cornerbacks in this league. Stands at 6'4", 215 pounds, or 210. Oh, what a catch by Mosley. And what a laser by Eric Price.
Great pass. Not a lot of air up underneath that pass, and I'm shocked that Mosley was able to hold on to the football because he was blasted the moment the laces hit his fingers.
Man, that was one of those old school tight end catches there. I'm going to put the body on the line. I know I'm going to get hit here, but let me go up, try to catch it with my body, keep it close to me. Ooh, what a spin move by O'Shaughnessy, and then someone may need to check his ankles.
Yeah, and Fort Worth continues to come out in his two corners defense, and that play should have been wrapped up, but great individual run by O'Shaughnessy.
Duffy there. Was Duffy the one with the tackle, or was Duffy the one that was on his knees? Trying to grab his ankles and get him back together.
I wasn't going to call out any names, but here's that two corners look again.
There's a sweep down to the bottom of the field. There's O'Shaughnessy, the 30, the 20, the 10, and he's going to score a touchdown here. His second of the day, 4th of the season.
And I'm not going to call out any names, Damon, but a couple of Fort Worth defenders had this play bottled up, but they allowed the blockers to engage in their chest, unable to shake them. And Bailey O'Shaughnessy is out here looking like an all-star here in this first half.
Well, they come out in a strong power eye. Well, not a strong power. They come out I formation, a power eye look, and they run a stretch strong down to the strong side there and come away with great blocking from the offensive line and also the tight end that's in the backfield there. It just basically freed O'Shaughnessy open here, as he has basically been the one-man game on that 42-yard touchdown run there. My goodness, what a play by the halfback. Well, there's the extra point attempt there by Remy. And just like that, the Denver Nightwings answered right back with a touchdown of their own after the pick six on the previous two drives from Fort Worth. And they take the lead here. Now, Eddie Gage, my question to you is, how clean can Eric Price stay? Because as long as he's throwing picks, that's going to keep Fort Worth involved here. But if he can stay clean for the rest of this game and continue to ground and pound, we're going to take it to the SFL headquarters for a game update. Cameron Irvine, take us away.
Thank you, Damon. Early in Detroit, the V8's got it working, Mike.
Yeah, that creative to cost combination is still working, Cam, here in week 3. Finding a little touchdown, and Motor City's up early, 7-0.
Sioux Falls gives up 255 yards a game. That's lowest in the league, and they give up an opening drive touchdown there. Back to Damon and Eddie in Texas.
Here is Dunhill with an out route down to the bottom of the field. That pass is caught by Stephen Hacker, and Hacker is going to pick up. No, not going to pick up the first. He's just going to say he's inches from the first down line, Eddie Gage.
Literally inches, and that ball was actually in his right hand. I thought he would get some home cooking, and they ground on a first down, but nonetheless, going to be second in inches.
But man, what are your thoughts, man, on the V8s getting that opening drive touchdown there against one of the best defenses in the league in the Sioux Falls Sparrows?
I can say if it can happen to Arizona, we got pounced today. It can happen to anyone.
That is absolutely true, as Arizona is one of the best defensive teams here in the league.
Great blocking.
Here is Williams. Williams gets a block from the fullback, and Williams, 1 man to beat it. He does just that, outruns him to the goal line. Hollywood Boulevard. Give me 6, Jason Williams.
And before that play, Damon, Fort Worth only had 106 total yards of offense here in the waning moments of the second quarter, just before half. And just like that, Jason Williams, we said they need to feed this man. They fed him. Nick Kinder could not quite catch him. And wow, great blocking up front on that left side of that offensive line. And Fort Worth, despite their offensive utilities, are right back, extra point away from tying this ball game.
This is crazy. This game is being led by a cornerback and 2 running backs. Haven't seen much from the quarterbacks here in this game, but my goodness, we have a show between halfbacks here. I don't know if you remember this, Eddie Gage, but back in the 80s, man, there was a game that was played in the Detroit Metrodome between the Los Angeles Raiders and the Detroit Lions. And man, that game was awesome between Barry Sanders and Bo Jackson. They called the game the Barry and Bo Show. And I think that's what we got right here.
Well, I'm a 90s baby, but I'll look it up.
You were around. So Eddie Gage, you were born in the 70s. You're not a 90s baby.
DeMar, I'll tell you a secret. My mom had to sign a permission slip for me to get married because my wife got about 15, 20 years on me.
Shut your face. And the story on top of that, I altered my mom's signature because I got married right at 18 myself. Shaughnessy breaks a tackle. My goodness, I thought he was gone after that one as well.
Man said I was born before the NFL even existed.
I don't think you was that old. Second and 6.
Flex.
Yeah, let's get back to business. Tight end flex, as you just stated, Mosley is in the slot. Mosley with a block as well. O'Shaughnessy goes nowhere. Right back to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and 6 here for Denver.
Fort Worth doing all they can to prevent Denver from putting any points on the board, trying to go into this half all knotted up at 14. Let's see if their defense can hang on.
Will they snap it? No. That's going to be the 2-minute warning. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music, live on Next Level Sports. We'll be right back. Third and 6 here, everybody. Welcome back to the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. You're watching live on Next Level Sports. Here is Price.
Oh.
Price is hit. He's hit hard on the 5-yard loss. And you got to give credit to the tackler, number 76, Luther Gahn.
Luther Gahn, free agent from Louisiana, comes over to play with his family, and Denver had at least 2 receivers open on the play as they came out in quarters coverage, but the pressure got there before the route could develop, and now Fort Worth's going to get this football back.
The SFL has partnered with Rare Drop and Rare Drop Sports to advance live events and distributions. Live and in-person championships weekends, rookies draft, and community events are in the works. Check out SFL games on their Twitch channel Friday through Sunday evenings and follow Rare Drop Sports at twitch.tv/RDS Sports. That's Rare Drop. Here is a return, and that is going to be like a 2-3 yard return there by Cade Stevens. And Fort Worth will take over this drive with 1 minute and 12 seconds left at their very own 43-yard line.
Now, Fort Worth allowed about 30 seconds of play clock, of game clock to tick before that ball was punted. If I'm them, I'm considering calling a timeout in that situation.
Look out for Robert Garrett Jr. atop the trips there, down to the left here of Dunhill. Gets a little pressure, floated up. That pass is almost intercepted and taken away by Ron Hoff. We have another game update. We're going to take it back to the SFL studios with Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green.
Thank you, Damon. One of the most bizarre blocked field goals you'll ever see, Mike.
Yeah, Sioux Falls lining up to try to get on the board here in the first quarter. As you see, Zastel Black, and then they get the snap and never get the kickoff, Cam. the holder is tackled, Zastel Black misses it, and the V8s get the turnover on down.
Kicker literally whiffed back to Damon and Eddie.
Well, Eddie Gage, you and I, we're two of the guys that have been around this league for a very long time. And I don't think I've ever seen a field goal blocked that way.
I never have them on, but you know, with this league, you just never know what you're going to find. How do you miss the football? I don't get that.
Yeah, that was just bizarre. 3rd and 2 here now. 2-step drop here by Dunhill. Dunhill dumps it off to the Cowboy. He picks up the first down, barely, by the way. We're going to go no huddle here. 1st and 10 here for the Fort Worth Toros at Denver's 45. 50 seconds exactly on the clock. Dunhill wasting time here. Dumps it off to the Cowboy. What a one-handed catch. Gets out of bounds.
Oh, they caught him inbounds, Damon.
They caught him inbounds. You're right, Gage. And the clock is still going to run here.
I thought he got out.
2-step drop, same play, dump it off into Williams. Williams going to be tackled inbounds, and there's going to be a forced timeout for the Fort Worth Toros. Coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report, Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green will break down the first half between the Night Wings and the Toros, run through the best of what was a 6-game Saturday, and update you on today's matchups around the league. It's all coming up on the APM Music Halftime Report. 3rd and 6 here now for Denver here.
Trying to get in field goal range here.
At Denver's 42. Denver is running a 4-1 dime defense. Going deep. That pass is intercepted. Well, I'll take that away from you, Ron Hoff. Put this in my back pocket.
And that's a shame because Fort Worth was on the verge of field goal range, had a slot receiver wide open running a 5-yard in route who would have easily picked up the first down, but instead, Fort Worth got greedy, hit the panic button, and now going to walk away with 0 points as Denver's trying to close out this half.
Looking at the replay, Gage, that almost looked like a 50 Z post corner. Not the X, but the Z, where that he goes to the post corner and then cuts it right back inbounds, or lets Dunhill just probably threw a bad ball. O'Shaughnessy breaks a tackle from E.K. Vincent. Open field. Picks up the first down to Denver's 33.
And you called it right the first time around, Damon. It was a power they ran. That's a slow developing play. And I'm guessing that Denver saw something on film, feel they can get away with it because so far, Fort Worth has yet to stop it.
3 seconds to halftime. No, they're going to get the ball to snap there, and O'Shaughnessy makes a man miss with a whoopsie-derby spin move before it steps out of bounds, and that's going to be the end of the half there. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music live on Next Level Sports. We're going to send it over to Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green in SFL Studios. Take us away.
Welcome to the APM Music Halftime Report. Along with Mike St. Green, I'm Cameron Irvine. 14-14, a good ball game at the half. A battle between Bailey O'Shaughnessy, Jason Williams, and those running games. Mike, your thoughts on the first half?
Oh, very entertaining first half for sure. Cam. Bailey O'Shaughnessy pretty much picking up where he left off last weekend. He had 156 yards and a couple of touchdowns against Louisiana, and pretty much picked up the same, a couple of long touchdown runs here tonight. And Jason Williams basically doing what we're accustomed to seeing him do season in and season out, with a big touchdown run of his own, big pick six from Nacho Sicario, and we find ourselves tied up at halftime.
Remember we were talking about in the pregame the over-under of 57.5, and we said, well, that's about a 28-27 game. Does that seem a little off to you? Never doubt our analytics team. They know what they're doing right on the nose right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Guys over at Jack's Data, they do a fantastic job. And Fort Worth, they are, I think, a 3.5-point favorite. We'll see if that comes true as well.
Mike, I'm going to throw you a complete curveball here. We did not prep this, so I will forgive you for any poor answer that you have. But we're almost 3 weeks into the season. What has stood out to you? If there is a thing that has stood out to you on the field. We all know Matt Wilson off the field has been the big storyline. But on the field, what has gotten your attention?
Mainly the expansion teams or the teams that have rookie quarterbacks or young quarterbacks going into this season. The only expansion team that has really performed well has been the Minnesota Legend. They've done a great job over there, but the other three expansion teams, they've struggled a little bit, and particularly defensively. They've given up a ton of points. Seattle, they've struggled on defense. They've given up 30-plus every game. As we saw Canton, they've given up 90-plus points in the past 2 games, including that big 30-point comeback. And so, yeah, that's been one thing that stood out. And then I think the teams with the rookie quarterbacks, I think all of them are winless right now. So Jacksonville, Seattle, and the other one I had in mind that I'm drawing a blank. But I think all the teams with rookie quarterbacks right now, they're struggling, and all of them are 0-3 going into next week.
Except Motor City. They are the outlier. They are the strange outlier right now in the league. We'll have updates for you on that game in just a moment. We've seen some craziness already in Detroit this evening. Yesterday, we had 6 games. We had a mega slate of action on our docket, and we begin with the game that was on Next Level, the Florida Storm and the Las Vegas Fury. And let's actually fast forward here to the fourth quarter. We're tied at 10 with 8 minutes to go. Vegas is in the red zone, and Scott Johnson puts in work. Great block by Jackson Roberts to spring him, and Vegas was in control at this point.
As you mentioned, Cam, they were definitely in control at this point. We pretty much thought, game was in hand right here. Vegas had done a great job all game long of keeping that Florida offense intact, only giving up 10 points, and this seemed like this may have sealed the game.
Yeah, it was definitely, when you combine Florida's performance with Fort Worth last week and then this performance, it was definitely leaving you with questions. Under 4 to go, this is when Vered and Zarkov started getting going for Florida. And this was really the only stretch of the game, this drive right here, where you felt really good about Florida's offense.
Yeah, as you just mentioned, Cam, this was the only stretch that they really put together a couple of plays back-to-back all game long. We see Zarkov, he got involved, and that really made a huge difference. Bullet Beletsky, he kind of got going a little bit, not great. As we see the touchdown run right there, he ended up with 106 and that touchdown. But, it just didn't seem like it was what happened. And then we see the big interception, pick 6 right here to totally switch the game, and Florida was able to hold on and put it away.
And what you didn't see there, Mike, was just the panic on Joseph Green and the Vegas offense. Running no huddle in a tie game with over 2 minutes to play was a really bizarre decision. They rushed that. Evan Carroll with the pick 6, and Ryan Davidson looking over his stat line earlier today, Mike, 6 total tackles, 5 passes defended, 2 interceptions, and he also had another ball that he deflected that ended up in an interception for somebody else. So, I mean, he had one of the greatest performances by a defensive back in SFL history.
Yeah, Ryan Davidson has been fantastic this first quarter of the season. He came into the game with 4 interceptions, added to his total and yesterday, including the pick six. I think that was him on that pick six. He's definitely putting in his bid for Defensive Player of the Year early on in the season.
Final play of that game, and Vegas couldn't get it done, and Florida gets the win, 24-17. Lone Star and Louisiana. It was the return of a few. It was the return of a few players. B. Robo, Garrison Blue, and forgive me, the name is escaping me as I had some technical difficulties with these highlights here. But Louisiana up 14-7. Some returners now on Lone Star coming back to Stack Up Stadium. And Louisiana had control of this game fairly early, and they really did keep control and good momentum. This is Blake Craze with the pick.
Yeah, big pick right here by Blake Craze. And I'm telling you, for me, Cam, it's really surprising how much Louisiana was able to control this game over Lone Star. You know, season 18 runners up. They coming in 1-1. They had, they were in control of the game last week against Las Vegas and let that one get away. I was just kind of surprised at how Louisiana was able to really control these guys for a vast majority of this game.
Randy Squierbush, with his first career 100-yard game, they fed him a lot, over 30 carries. Great block there by the guard to get a first down as Louisiana kept the drive moving just before the half. Lone Star and Louisiana both in the semis, just like Baltimore and Vancouver were. Baltimore and Vancouver played earlier this week. They were both undefeated coming into this game. These two struggling a little bit more, but Tommy Utah did a nice job for the most part, taking care of the football. And just before the half, Louisiana able to pound this one in for 6.
Yeah, Randy Squierbush has done a great job of getting into the end zone for these guys. The first couple of weeks they were up big against Denver last week, and they let that one get away. And one thing that's kind of surprising, considering some of the weapons that they lost, as you mentioned, B. Robo was one of the big weapons that they lost, was huge for them last season. They've been able to punch the ball in this season. As opposed to settling for a lot of field goals, they've been able to punch them in, cash in a lot of those long drives, and it's been paying off for them.
And there he is right there, B. Robo, with that catch for Lone Star. He had nearly 200 yards of receiving in this one. Lone Star didn't give up. Third quarter, early third quarter, Greg Soto with that haul in, his 4th catch of the day. Lone Star kept things moving, and both of these teams are 1-2 coming into next week, Mike, but I wouldn't want to face either one of them. Those are some dangerous 1-2 squads.
Oh, definitely dangerous 1-2 squads. They're going to be desperate to get back to 500, in particular the divisions that they're in. These teams do not want to go 1-3 next week, so whoever their opponents are, look out for these guys are going to be chomping at the bit.
Toe tapper in the end zone. That's B. Robo with the touchdown, and Lone Star cut the deficit down to 7, but they really struggled to find any sort of positive momentum. Very next drive, Tommy Utah down the field. That really was the most bizarre play of the game, Mike. It was ruled a fumble, but it actually ended up being an interception because the ball never hit the ground, which is a pretty crazy way to get a pick. Here's another look at it.
Yeah, that was a crazy play. As we see Utah looking on a big hit, and Rain Reed, newly signed safety over from London, with a big pick and returns it up to midfield.
Now he caught it on the fly.
Lone Star couldn't do much with it, so Louisiana would go back to work. That's Reggio De Niro over the middle here towards the end of the third. Louisiana still protecting that lead. Now Utah again throws over the middle, caught by Chase Earl. He had 2 touchdowns on the day. And really, Mike, it was about time of possession in this one because Louisiana got 30 carries from Squierbush, and Utah was throwing it all over the yard. That was a touchdown. Louisiana won the game 31-28, although it wasn't really that close as Lone Star got that touchdown at the end.
Yeah, and that's one thing that's kind of surprised me as well this season, Cam. The art of the comeback, and we've seen a lot of teams that have gotten down by multiple scores early. They've either come back with a big comeback victory, or they made it close and or at least made the other team nervous. So that's really been a surprise this season as well, is how no game has been over until pretty much the clock strikes 0.
Bonus coverage Saturday was Charleston and Carolina. This one was an absolute doozy as there we go. Well, hello, Raleigh. Charleston and Carolina, Mike, was just, it was just all over the place. Charleston was trailed 16-10 just before the end of the first half. There's that field goal there. But this long bomb really kind of set off a third quarter of fireworks, Mike, that gave Charleston the lead. That was Christopher Ochoa coming over from free agency.
Yeah, big pass right there, Christopher Ochoa, from what had been basically a kind of a knockdown, drag-out game. The defenses both that played well up until this point. They did really the rest of the game. Several interceptions in this game, a couple of interceptions in the end zone from both squads. And right here, that was a big play to get Charleston back up top for the first time.
How would Carolina answer? Well, Sam Avalos was a huge part of this ball game. Actually, one player of the game makes that catch, and the Skyhawks were back on the move to start the second half. With pace at the Charleston 36, flip out to Pseudo Nakai back in the league, gets the first down, and Carolina kept things moving.
Yeah, the little short, fat running back. That's what he calls himself. And yeah, that's what he says, Cam. And they made a big play in the backfield right there to keep the chains moving and getting Carolina in great shape to try to take the lead back.
Nakai putting in work outside the numbers. And Matt South at the 7-yard line here, mid-third. They took almost all of the early third quarter. That's a touchdown to DeSantis, and Charleston would take the lead by a score of 23-17. Charleston would answer back. Keith Swearingen spins inside, then pops it outside. He's out of here. Nobody going to catch him. Charleston back ahead. We told you this third quarter was wild. Back and forth we go in the Battle of the Carolinas.
Yeah, Keith Swearingen had a huge game, 169 yards, a couple of touchdown runs. He's really been great at getting into the end zone these first 3 games. But this was the first game we actually saw him do a lot of groundwork. He's been doing it through there. 6 touchdown catches receiving so far.
In the fourth quarter, the defenses kind of came back. Let's fast forward to the end zone where Carolina gets a pick. That is Wyatt. Up 30-24, Kentes picked in the end zone for the second time in the game, and that basically sealed it, Mike.
Yeah, that was Monte Wyatt's third interception of the game, and that was his second in the end zone that cut a couple of Predators drives short, kept them off the board, and pretty much sealed the victory for the Skyhawks.
And the Carolina Skyhawks are 2-1. They are now second place in the in the Atlantic Division behind unbeaten Baltimore. They will play once, but it's much later in the season. But Skyhawks are looking sharp. Charleston's now lost 2 in a row, and they're at the bottom of the division, not a place that they wanted to be at.
Yeah, that's a tough division to be at the bottom looking up. You're looking at Baltimore, D.C., and you just lost a game against your rival. So that's a tough spot to be in, looking up at the bottom, looking up in that division.
5:08 to go in the first half of our other game going on tonight in the SFL. Sioux Falls and Motor City are tied at 10. Sioux Falls got a touchdown on the board thanks to a John Barnhart pick 6. But, Mike, the big storyline of the first half has become Phil Koss. He's hurt for Motor City. We do not have an update on that, but it's just very interesting, Mike, because Phoenix Jones went down today for Mexico City, but Mexico City had a second running back. For Motor City, their starting tight end goes down, but they have 2 other contracted tight ends on this roster. So it's going to be interesting to see who kind of steps up in Phil's shoes if he can't go the rest of the way for the V8s.
Well, right now, those are going to be some huge shoes to fill because coming into this week, Phil Koss led the league in receiving yards. So can they step up? It remains to be seen. The second tight end over there, Guy Clausen, let's see what he can do. He's got a little experience in the league. We'll see if he can make some noise here the rest of the way for the V8s.
In your game here on Next Level Sports, Fort Worth and Denver are all tied up at 14. And we get back to Damon and Eddie in the second half right after these messages. Mike and I will be back here for postgame to wrap up Week 3 and preview what's coming up on Next Level in Week number 4. We will be right back after this break. You're watching the SFL on NXT.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. Here to start the third quarter as Fort Worth get ready to take the ball here on their first possession drive. Return is out to the 33-yard line. Eddie Gage, player. That was a long halftime break, I tell you, man. But it's good to be back. Got some popcorn, some hot dogs, as Mike and Cam was talking away about the previous games that happened yesterday.
Well, see, you get the popcorn. I get steak delivered because I'm a second ballot Hall of Famer.
Dude, I want steak.
You didn't ask.
You should have told me you was ordering a New York strip. So I don't like messing with you, man. Here's the Twins here by Fort Worth. Handoff here to Williams right up the middle. And Williams almost breaks a tackle there, but he does picks up 6 yards on that carry there. 2nd and 4.
Great push up front by the center and both guards as there was little path to resistance to Jason running straight up the middle of this defense.
Second and 4 here now for Fort Worth. They're going to come out with the tight end on the line here to the left of Dunhill. Alexander and Williams in the backfield. 5-step drop, out route. That pass is complete. Cage Stevens breaks the tackle. No, it's not Stevens. That is 16. That is Cage Stevens. My apologies. I thought I saw an 86 there somewhere.
And that's the second time we've seen Nick Kinder victimized by these receivers out here tonight. Bounced right off of him. The sidelines was yelling, weight room.
Get big.
Get big.
Here's a 2-step drop here by Dunhill. Oh, that pass is almost intercepted by Morales.
Wow, and they actually bailed out of there. Both safeties did. I thought that was going to be a completion, but number 57 for this Denver defense did a great job, Ramiro Morales, of sinking back into coverage.
Playing that inside linebacker, you most definitely got to have your head on a swivel, making sure you're watching everything in front of you, on the side of you, keeping track of things that players that you're allowing behind you, and he played that play perfectly.
Yeah, he's a rookie.
They come out here in a spread, and that is going to be a completion there to the top of the field to Stephen Hacker.
All too often, even with veterans, we see these receivers catch those passes and fall to the ground. If they can do a better job of remaining upright, I mean, it is a difficult catch to make as you're turning your body around, but if they can flip those hips and get around, cut up field, that's the first down every time.
Here's Dunhill. Oh, nice reaching catch by Baker. My goodness, he stretched for that one, Gage.
And he saw strong safety Josh Neal bearing down on him. He's only 5'10", 205 pounds, but you could tell he's been working that closing speed because as soon as the quarterback released the ball, he stopped on a dime cut up and was trying to take his head off. I'm surprised he was able to hold on to the football.
As we've seen some shots that receivers has taken over the years by going up to get the ball in that territory. 4-1 dime. Dunhill throws deep to the end zone. That pass is going to be deflected and intercepted. Is that the second on the night for Ron Hoff?
It is. And in those situations where the corners are playing up tight, you want that pass to go to the edges, outside the numbers. Anytime they're playing up that tight, the safeties are there to help. There was nowhere to go. The window was too tight. And as a result, Denver got this ball back.
Denver's going to have it right at their 4-yard line. Pretty sure they're going to come and go. They're going to start this drive off with a run. They're going to go spread here, split back. 4D lineman here for Fort Worth gets a little pressure. That pass is going to be complete for maybe a 2-yard gain.
And wow, the clock was ticking on that play because the defense was barreling down on him. He's lucky to get the pass off.
Yeah, I saw the pressure there as well. My goodness. And look at O'Shaughnessy here, 6 for 6 on the day. Talk about being persistent and catching. Show that the hand jugs has paid off. There's another strong power play there for Denver. I was about to say Portland, not sure why. But O'Shaughnessy picks up another 2 yards, 3rd and 6.
And you can tell just by looking at this game plan for Fort Worth, they are not going to allow Denver too many opportunities to get those stretch plays going to the outside.
Come out forward, wide receiver set here. There is a trips to the right of Price. Price right across the middle of the field. The Denver play that doesn't die.
And even in a 4-2 nickel, Fort Worth has 2 corners in their playbook, trying to play those stretch plays away, along with any damage these outside receivers can do. But as a result, everyone else is playing cover 2, and he threw it right into the empty space of the zone.
Come out in a 4-1 dime here. Looks like going to be a little no press. Gun straight is the offense formation. Look out for Mosley on the line of scrimmage. Mosley is open, and that is the target. Picks up about 20 yards on that reception.
Quarters coverage, come out in all slants. Typically, you want to hit the edges, skinny posts, and things of that nature, but they come out with this dime defense and throw a 90-yard slants. Everyone got their back turned to the ball. Easy pitch and catch.
There's a look at O'Shaughnessy. 16 carries for 158 yards. We've seen some halfbacks here in the SFL over the past 2 weeks that have very low attempts on the ground, but have big yardage on the day. Here's a play action pass again, right across the middle of the field. Look who it is. R.E. Mills.
R.E. Mills, one of the more actively used fullbacks in its entire league for several seasons now, and they take that play action 43 sprint post and run it to perfection.
One of the teams that runs that play to a perfection. And one of the teams where that this play is always called, that play is always called for Denver. Not everyone gets that play to call routinely as the Denver Nightwing does. Pump fake here by Price. Price goes down in the backfield. 53, Jeff Duffy.
Fort Worth, we saw him early in this season on the goal line coming up on them. This time they get home, able to bring the quarterback down. Jeff Duffy's been around for a long time, and he had no problem bringing Eric down.
Yeah, the left tackle, that is, just could not stop Duffy as Duffy was coming around the corner there. It's going to be a handoff here to O'Shaughnessy. Spin move, nowhere to go. Tackled in the backfield by J.L. Brown, and we have another game update. Head back to the SFL headquarters. Cameron Irvine.
Thank you, Damon. SFL Nation meets Ibrahim Krieta. 252 yards passing in the first half against the #1 pass D in the league.
Yeah, Phil Koss gets injured, and you think he's going to go to the tight end, not the second tight end, but Shane Kaufman, the wide receiver, with a big touchdown catch from Krieta. And Motor City goes back up 17-13.
Motor City 13.5-point dogs at home, up 4 in the third. Back to Damon and Eddie. Denver moving the ball into Fort Worth territory.
What an outstanding pass there by Krieta, but look at this. This is even a more beautiful pass here by Eric Price. And this ball game we have, most of the time, earlier in the game, we saw Price go deep. It was basically bad news for the Denver Nightwings. But on this particular play here, he goes deep, finds his wide receiver, Logan Keel, and he comes up big on that post corner route.
He was wide open, but Damon, when's the last time you seen a home team, as an underdog by 13.5 points?
That's crazy. Here's play action here again. Out route. That pass is going to be complete to Quintero. Sorry, I had to slow down a bit there to get the Q sound out correctly. You know what I mean, right?
One of the few times we've seen Fort Worth actually back out and play soft coverage underneath. They've been aggressive all day, and it's worked for them. We'll see if they're trying to make some things up here in the second half, but kind of surprising to see them play soft back there.
There's a question I want to ask you, but I'm not sure if I want to ask you this question on air.
Go right ahead.
Oh, what a nice completion dot pass there from Eric Price. Speaking of the Toros defense, we've noticed that they're playing a lot of two corners with their corners, and basically they're using that to contain the outside run.
Yep.
Can that be a case of disaster if these receivers get behind these corners while they're in that two corner press coverage? As we see it right here. Here it comes again. Dot right across the middle of the field is to Jeremy Mosley.
And Damon, that play right there just answered your own question. I talked about it earlier. Anytime you're playing two corners, those outside receivers are basically manned up, man on man. You put a hat on the hat. But the weakness of it is everyone else on the defense is playing basically a cover 2 shell in which their intermediate and deep middle is wide open. And if you have a talented tight end like Denver does with Jeremy Mosley, you can be picked apart all game long.
Well, there you have it. Eric Price comes away with that touchdown pass, 13-yard TD pass from Price to Mosley. Current drive, 11 plays, 95 yards. His extra point attempt was almost blocked. We're going to take a break. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports. We'll see you when we get back. TV has partnered with the SFL to bring sim football to millions of homes over the next 2 years. ESTV is the world's first 24/7 live linear and video on-demand esports channel available everywhere. Through your smart TV, on your phone, through Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and more. Visit estv.co to learn more about its programming and to find all ways you can catch the SFL action on the network. That is ESTV, esports at its best. I threw that last line in there just because. 3-3 nickel defense here for Denver, and that pass is right across the middle of the field, and it is caught, and it looks who come up with that one. It is Stevens.
Yeah, and we talked about the middle linebacker for Denver earlier, a moment ago, making a great play. This time he takes his time getting out of his break, and he should have just turned around and just backpedaled, got up out of there as receivers. None of them were running underneath him. He got to turn around, get out of that, and help his defense out.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely agree. 1st and 10 here, right at midfield for the Fort Worth Toros. Jason Williams in the backfield, handoff here to the halfback Williams. Williams tries to do a spin move, but he's going to lose it. They're going to give him forward progress there. They're going to give him 3 yards.
2nd and 7, that was a generous spot to mine, but I'm guessing they're marking him with forward progress. I thought he made a football move after being hit there, but they're going to give him 2nd and 7 regardless.
Yeah, so did I. I thought he was going to lose it a yard from the forward progress or so. There's another pass right down the middle to Cade Stevens. And Cade Stevens starting to get things rolling here for Fort Worth. Right across the middle of the field, right behind those linebackers and right before the safeties.
Yeah, and there it is again. Ramiro Morales taking all too long to get out of that backpedal and go back there and help out his secondary. Just not athletic enough just yet, but something tells me as he just progresses a little bit more longer and continues to hit the weight room, listen to his coaches, get in the lab, they'll get things figured out and he'll be a primetime player.
First and 10 here for Fort Worth. Hand off here to the fullback, Aaron Alexander. Nice run there by the fullback. Picks up 5 yards. Whereas we do not see the fullback get many carries in this league, but Aaron picks up 5 on that.
Yeah, I mean, Fort Worth, Denver, Mexico City, back when Bentley was a fullback, a lot of those teams get them involved. Louisiana's another one, and it's just a matter of time before Arizona starts using theirs too once he develops.
4-3 defense here. Handoff here to Williams. Oh, hurdles over a guy, picks up the first down.
Great patience on that run right there by Williams.
Sure was, but he met his match with TJ Frosty.
All too often you see those running backs take those stutter steps and take too long to get going. He took a small stutter step there, just waiting for traffic to clear, picks his speed back up and gets the first down.
First and 10 here at Denver 19. Marcus Dunhill underneath the center. 147 yards on the day here for Dunhill. Out route to the top of the field. He's going to go down the middle. That pass is caught, but it's going to say that the Cowboy was out of bounds. Incomplete.
Wow, and he couldn't throw it when he wanted to because of the pressure. He had to sidestep it, and unfortunately, it took him just a bit too long to gather himself, and the Cowboy wants that one back.
Absolutely, and I don't blame Dunhill for wanting that one back because he had Robert Garrett Jr. wide open in the back of the end zone. 2nd and 10. Out is Williams and is Bacon. Out route to the top of the field. That is to Stephen Hacker. Hacker is going to pick up about 5.
They've run this 50X spot probably about 9 times. And I think they've completed it every time, whether it's to the X running the 50X spot or the slot receiver running the skinny post.
And basically it shows Stephen Hacker on the day 5 completions on 7 attempts for 32 yards. They're not getting much production from that play, although they are from the reception wise, but it's not really getting much up the field. As we just saw them go on that play there, they're going to have to settle for a field goal here as they do not pick up the first down.
Yeah, and left tackle Cotton Hill slow getting over there with a half-hearted effort to lead a block. And that's just piss poor effort. You got to do better than that.
On for the field goal attempt is Emily Rose. Here for the Fort Worth Toros, this is going to be a 28-yard field goal attempt. There's a snap, low snap there. Ball is up, and it's good right down the middle. And that's going to bring the Fort Worth Toros 3 points closer. 3 points closer than what the score previously was. They're still down by 4 there.
One score ball game here. You know, it's still a game, anybody's ball game. So it looks like it's going to go down to the wire here late in the 4th. But you like to see one of these teams, you know, make a splash play offensively, whether it be a run or a pass here in the second half. Because both offenses have been kept in check here.
Yeah, the previous drive was 9 plays, 54 yards total for Fort Worth on that 28-yard field goal attempt made by Emily Rose. And it's going to be a return here for the Denver Night Wings on their assuming position. Another game update here. Let's take it to Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green back to SFL headquarters.
Thank you, Damon. Rodney Panani putting in work for Motor City, Mike.
Rodney Panani's putting his stamp on this third quarter. He already had an interception. Here he is with a fumble recovery. And this here leads to a Caleb Richards field goal. And the V8s go up 20-13.
Motor City trying to pull a monumental upset on Sioux Falls back to Damon and Eddie in Fort Worth.
It's crazy how Cam put words together. He says a monumental upset, as we all know that the monument of this country is Mount Rushmore, which is in South Dakota, Sioux Falls. So
You're giving him too much credit, Damon. I don't think he even knew what he was saying.
Maybe not, but I also want to bring to your attention, Rodney Panini is a name that you and I know so well.
Yes. Former Houston Hyena.
I think
you want to tell a story, Damon, about how he missed progression almost, and we had to hit him up on his Twitch stream to get him to progress?
Man, that was the funniest thing ever. We trying to get this guy to submit his player progression. He's on Twitch and we sending him messages. He's not responding, so we hit it. We go into his Twitch live stream, and tells him and post a message. You did the message. He was like, "Yo, Rodney, submit your progression," and he was like, "Oh, yo, it's Eddie Gage. Oh, let me get my progression in." That's the 2-minute warning. You watching this? I'm sorry. That's the end of the quarter. You're watching Simulation Football League presented by APM Music here on Next Level Sports. We'll be right back. BDG. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. You're watching tonight's matchup between the Fort Worth Toros and the Denver Night Wings. Handoff here to Brian O'Shaughnessy, and he picks up the first down right up the middle.
Great run. Only had to make one cut. Got a great block from his fullback. Great block from his left guard. Let's see if we can get a look on in the replay. Not going to get the best look there, but yeah, R.E. Mills gave him a great block to spring him free.
Well, this game has basically been the game of the halfbacks, as I don't think either, well, besides Eric Price, quarterback for Denver, does have a touchdown pass, but Marcus Dunhill for the Fort Worth Toros does not have a touchdown. Halfbacks has just been going crazy in the first half. Haven't seen much here in the second. Here's O'Shaughnessy in the backfield, nowhere to go. Tackled and brought down by Duffy.
Yeah, Fort Worth got tired of that halfback talk as Bailey O'Shaughnessy over 160 yards and 2 tutties here in the fourth.
The SFL has partnered with Laser to deliver digital SFL player trading cards to its players and viewers during live events on the SFL Twitch. Viewers every 30 minutes will be issued cards, or you can buy SFL cards packs through Laser Store. Here's a pass here to O'Shaughnessy behind the sticks. Going to be making it 3rd and forever here now for the Denver Night Wings.
Fort Worth has been doing their homework. They're doing a great job of keeping everything in front of them. They refuse to get beat deep. It's going to force Denver to put together a 12-play drive.
Able to get your packs through Laser Store. The new Season 19 pack will be available soon. Visit laser.gg and click the Join Alpha button to connect your Twitch account and begin collecting. Here's an encroachment here. Free play for Denver. Forget the free play. We'll take this one here. Decline it.
Decline that penalty, tell the chain gang to get on the giddy up and move those sticks about 15 yards downfield.
Number 53, defense, the penalty.
And Denver does decline it as Battle comes away with that big first down play there.
Clean pocket, too.
Absolutely. Here's a stat line here for you. Get it. Okay, well, I'll come back to it in just a minute. Not sure what happened there. It's 1st and 10. Play action. Goes to the fullback. That pass is deflected. That was probably the best defensive play all game versus that play there by the Fort Worth Tar Heels. That was their best play.
It was simply quarters covered too, Demar. Everyone backed up, like I said earlier. Kept everything in front of him, and the fullback, he's not used to getting hit while catching passes. Comes up and they blast him. Just he's trying to bring the ball into his body.
Here's Eric Price, 22 of 25, 88% on the day, 216 yards through the air. O'Shaughnessy, single back formation. There's going to be another free play here, Gage. Two-step drive. Gets the reception. Do you accept this one? I say no, you don't.
See, I know it's going to be 2nd and 2 if you decline the demand, but I've always been one to take the extra down, and they're probably going to decline this. So it's no right or wrong answer to it, and sure enough, they do decline it. But I'm one for the extra down.
I think after hearing you say it, I think I am in agreement with you. Go ahead and take the extra down. What's another 3 yards there? I'm
trying to tell you. One day someone's going to listen to me. I'm going to write a book one day.
Football penalty acceptance or decline for dummies. Here's O'Shaughnessy up the middle. Oh. No, it come back to bite him in the butt. 4th and inches, Eddie Gage.
4th and inches, Damon, and guess what? Denver just signed a kicker, but he doesn't have quite the leg strength just yet. So they're on the outskirts of looking in of this field goal attempt. Let's see if they go for it here.
They bring the offense out. They're at Fort Worth's 35. 8:40 exactly on the clock. Split back. On the halfbacks, they do hike it. Give it to O'Shaughnessy. Rolled up on him right in their face. Big Duffy.
And I couldn't tell if there was an ISO play that was blocked up really well. I couldn't really tell. And no, it was that power again, Damon. And this time, Fort Worth ready like a book. Stuffed him in the backfield, and Fort Worth's going to get great starting field position to try and tie this ball game up.
Wow, 1st and 10 for Fort Worth at their own 38-yard line. There's a look at Marcus Dunhill. Dunhill on the day. It's basically 18 for 24, 154 yards through the air, 0 touchdowns, and 2 INTs with a QBR of 56.6. Dunhill got the cowboy right across the middle of the field. Robert Garrett Jr. picks up 9.5.
I'm not sure how a man who smokes cigars is healthy enough to play football, but Robert Garrett Jr. been doing it for a long time. And if it was me, Damon, I'd be winded, but hell, he's out here making plays.
I smoke cigars every now and then, but yeah, man, if you inhale those things the wrong way, that could mess your chest up. Those things are power strong, man. Look out for Garrett on the line of scrimmage. Handoff here to Aaron Alexander, and he picks up the first down.
Just enough. It was about 3 inches to the first down. He got 5, and they're going to move the chains.
And that's Aaron's second attempt on the ground today. His longest was 5.
Oh!
1st and 10 here for Fort Worth at their own 48. And off here to Williams. Williams breaks up tackle. Well, not breaks the tackle, gets a big block is what I was trying to say there. Picks up the first down and more. Down to Denver's 37, and Fort Worth is rolling, Gage.
Yeah, and free safety T.J. Frosty just saved a touchdown. Look at it on a replay here. If he doesn't make this tackle, Jason Williams is celebrating in the end zone.
If you look at the way he made the tackle, it's a great wrap-up tackle, high on the body, forcing the man sideways and not allowing him to get any extra momentum going with his legs, and basically knocked him over. Great tackle there by Frosty.
I don't know, body. I was taught to hit him low, man.
I was too, right across the midsection. Here's a 2-step drop here. Pass is going to be completed. Oh my goodness. Game update here coming your way. Let's take it to Sioux Falls. Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green.
Thank you, Damon. Copper quarterback giveth and taketh away, Mike.
Yeah, Creator right here looking to go up by 2 scores, but the Sioux Falls great secondary, they step up again. This time it's Jay Ringo with the interception in the end zone to keep Sioux Falls on one score down.
Still a 7-point game, and with 6.5 to go in Fort Worth, Damon and Eddie got a nail biter. Back to those guys.
That we do. It's good to see nail biters here in this league, man. But one thing about being on the opposite end of nail biters is that when your team is on the field, your stomach and butterflies are just floating everywhere, and your heart's about to beat through your chest. I'd rather be up here in the boot for a nail biter than being one of these players on the field right about now. There's an I formation here for Fort Worth. Denver looks like they're going to bring blitz, bring everybody off. And Jason Williams got big block, picks up the first down. Hollywood Boulevard, let me get across that thing there.
Jason Williams got not one, Damon, but 2 great blocks from his fullback who escorts him into the end zone. Let's see if we get a replay on this, Damon. Oh, my goodness. Damon, this is ridiculous, taking advantage of the blocking provided by him from this team. Aaron Alexander came to work with his hard hat on today, Damon.
Yeah, as you just stated, taking advantage of the blocking that he's getting. And that's something that you have to do. If you guys are out there and they're giving you good blocks as a halfback, you got to keep your vision going and you got to get to that end zone. And that's just what Jason Williams did. And Fort Worth takes the lead at a gauge for the first time. We're going to take a 2-minute break. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music live on Next Level Sports. We'll see you when we get back. Well, welcome back to the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music. You're watching live on Next Level Sports. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Damon Simeon, and alongside me is my good buddy, Eddie Gage, as the Fort Worth Toros is just taking the lead in this ball game up by 3 now, 24-21, with the outstanding run by Jason Williams, who took it to the house with outstanding blocking from an offensive line and his tight end. Eddie Gage, this has basically been the game between the running backs thus far. I mean, these guys are almost neck and neck in yardage here. Bailey O'Shaughnessy for Denver, 160 yards on the ground. Jason Williams with 126. Here's Price, and Price got a man open right across the middle of the field. It's Riley Quintero.
And Denver, I know it's only 2 games they played before today. They came into this game averaging 106 yards a carry. Fort Worth, only 81. Kind of surprising considering the fact they got Jason Williams in the backfield. But today, he's answered the call.
Jason Williams does have a long touchdown run. on the day of 64 yards, which does and makes his stats lines look a lot better than what they probably could be looking like if not for the 64-yard. Oh, that pass is deflected away right across the middle of the field, and that is J.L. Browning with the PD.
Not sure who he was throwing it to because he had a eligible receiver out in front. Not sure if he didn't see him or what. That should have been an easy pitch and catch for a first down.
Unfortunately, it's going to be 2nd and 10 here now for the Denver Nightwings at their own 35-yard line with 5:46 left on the ticker. Mosley is off the line of scrimmage.
If this is 50 tight end seam again, he might get sacked. Oh,
here is O'Shaughnessy with a spin move before being tackled and brought down by the strong safety Delaney Nash.
A.J. Levy and that backfield over there in Sioux Falls is amazing. I'll just leave it at that. But this game is coming down to the final waning moments of this game. Denver trying to climb back into this one.
Let's look at the numbers for Bailey O'Shaughnessy on the day. Another handoff here to Bailey. Tackled right at the line of scrimmage. 4th and 5 is not sure if that was the smart play to go for right there. I think they should have passed it and tried to pick up the first down instead of going for it on 3rd and long.
Considering the fact that they're down 3, that should have been a passing situation.
It most definitely should have been. 4th and 5 here for Denver. They're going to punt it back to Fort Worth. Here's a return here by Baker, and Baker is tackled and brought down at Fort Worth's 24-yard line.
Now, Damon, it's 4:42 left in this contest. Denver has all 3 timeouts. Fort Worth, they want to burn some clock, but they don't want to get too methodical and find themselves punting the ball back to Denver. They need to remain aggressive.
They most definitely have to remain aggressive, and I say you keep it on the ground with Jason Williams, as he has been the X factor, should we say, of this ball game here for Fort Worth. There's another handoff here to Williams. Williams tackled right at the line of scrimmage, picks up 3 yards on the carry there before being brought down by a host of Nightwings.
And I didn't get the name of the right defensive end on that play, but he's the one who saved that from being like a 10 to 15-yard gainer. He kept his outside shoulder free, forced Jason back inside to his help, and limited it to a 3-yard gain.
They're going to come out here now in a weak Joker's formation. 4-3 is the defense. They show pressure towards the top, strong side there. Dunhill's going to call for an audible. Maybe he sees something the defense is going to give him that he likes. And he does. ISO. Williams. Spin move. Breaks the tackle. Brought down at the 29-yard line. I got to give credit to the defensive down for not letting Jason Williams break free.
I agree, but you know how we often say they should have stayed outside? That time he should have spent back inside. And if he does, he picks up that first down.
3rd and 5 here for Fort Worth. Dunhill numbers on the day at the bottom summary. 63 QBR. Not such a good day for the quarterback at the office.
But he's got the lead.
Calling through the signals here. 2-step drive.
Look out.
That pass is caught for a touchdown and more up the sideline is Cade Stevens.
And Denver that time got a bit aggressive. They saw that play being ran all game long. That's probably about the 15th time we've seen it today, Damon. And this time Denver sneaks up, tries to make a play on the ball, just misses it. And as a result, the receivers had to catch the ball, turn upfield, and pick up an additional 15 yards.
Outstanding route ran there by Cade Stevens. Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for links and apparel from Sector 6 and SFL mini helmets from 97 Sports Promotions, plus features from our content team, including Swamp Talk, Power Rankings, and many more feature series. See all the league records, team stats, player leaderboards, and rankings of the next class of SFL talent, and so much more. Simulationfl.net, your home for everything SFL. Here is Williams right up the middle of the field, picks up 1 yard only. Tackled and brought down at Denver's 45.
2 minutes and 40 seconds and ticking left in this contest. Denver has all 3 timeouts. They don't want to allow this Fort Worth team to get in the field goal range and extend this lead.
Hugo Reynosa on the tackle, the second of the day. On the ground, they stay with Williams. Spin move, he breaks free. Just move to the top, picks up the first down before Reynosa brings him down at the 33.
Hugo Reynosa, his Discord name goes by Hike the Earth, as he does a lot of stuff in the outdoors. This time, he's able to come up with a tackle, fighting through traffic because Jason Williams had bigger dreams, and I thought he was headed to the end zone for a moment there.
I mean, let's talk about the uncalled penalty there that should have been called. That was a push in the back. Not sure if you saw it, but there was a push in the back. And we're not going to see the replay. But this is the 2-minute warning. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music on Next Level Sports.
Sioux Falls got a touchdown while we were in break, but this might be the best one-hander you'll ever see, Mike.
Yeah, right here on a second down play, K. Marion with a nice stretching one-hand catch, kept his drive alive, finished it off with a Marcus Duncan cheaty catch. They're all tied up with 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Tied in Detroit. We'll keep you posted. Back to Damon and Eddie in Fort Worth.
First and 10 from the wing, 21-yard line. Let's go! Everybody do their job! Everybody make a touch!
Give it to the halfback. Johnny Hill with a spin moves, picks up 3 yards.
Wow, talk about not hitting the panic button that time. Denver gets in the backfield. You would have thought they knew the snap count, Damon. They were back there in a hurry, but Eric Price felt the pressure, decided to keep the ball himself and pick up a first down with a spin move, looking like a tailback back there.
You and I have seen that play happen before. If you can remember the Houston Hyenas versus the San Francisco Sharks, and we blew up the halfback, and man, Ronnie Nickerson was gone, or Ahmad Chima was gone upfield for about 70 yards.
It was about 70. It was embarrassing. Like, if anyone catch the quarterback, my goodness.
There's Williams right up the middle of the field, and it's 3rd and 3 here. And Fort Worth is basically trying to milk this clock. Can Denver hold them to 3, take possession, and go back downfield and score?
If they pick up this first down, it's going to be game, set, and match. Let's see if Denver can hold them.
Denver only has 1 timeout left. Fort Worth with 3 still in their back pocket. There's a sweep to Williams, as Williams hitting the backfield for a 5-yard loss. 4th and 6.
Wow, and Damon, I don't know about you. I'm a defensive guy, so I'm usually defensive orientated. But if I'm Fort Worth, I consider passing the ball in that situation, try and catch Denver napping and pick up the first down. Now, with the field goal attempt, Denver's going to have a chance to win this ball game if they can score a touchdown.
If Denver was forced to call their last and final timeout right there, 1:45 left on the clock. 4th and 6 at Denver's 18-yard line. But let's talk about Nick Kindler, man. As you just stated, they should have been in passing situation right there, but Nick Kindler comes up big with that tackle for loss on Jason Williams. Here is the kick, a 34-yard field goal attempt, and it's good right down the middle. 1:42 left. What can the Denver Nightwings do with the ball?
Well, I mean, Bailey O'Shaughnessy has been a bell cow for this team, but he's going to be used as a blocker, I would assume, on this ensuing drive.
I would most definitely agree with you on that one because I think you got to put the ball in the air here. Although O'Shaughnessy has basically been your bell cow for the entire game, keeping the ball in the air in the hands of your quarterback, who has been very methodical, going across the middle of the field, finding his tight end and his fullback all day long. He has 2 picks on the day, but he also has a touchdown with a QBR of 83%, 82.8 passing percentage on the day with a completion of 24 out of 29 attempts.
And he's going to need to come up again big right here, try to remain without, try to play out the rest of this game without throwing any more interceptions, force any more turnovers, because Denver needs Eric now more than ever.
Next weekend, make sure you catch Next Level Sports as well. We'll get to that ad read in just a second here. Here is Eric Price right underneath the center. 3-step drop, dumps it off to O'Shaughnessy, and he picks up 6 yards on that reception. Clock is still ticking. They're going to go no huddle here at Denver's 27-yard line. O'Shaughnessy needs to get back lined up. Defense is in a 4-2 nickel. Brings pressure, out route to Mosley. Mosley picks up the first down there. Continue the no huddle. They're going to stay in this same formation gauge. They must have a nice set of plays here that they're liking because they're not calling the timeout. Dumps it off to the halfback once again. He doesn't try it.
Stays in bounds.
Try a spin move attempt. It stays in bounds. Get hit by E.K. Vincent. Outstanding tackle there by the the inside linebacker. Little shift here of the D-line. Dumps it off to O'Shaughnessy again. Tries a spin move attempt. And no timeouts are remaining here for Denver. They got to continue to go no huddle. They are not getting out of bounds, and this is what could be the factor of the game.
Look out.
Oh, that pass is deflected. Completion.
Demond, I saw that play coming a mile away. It was only a matter of time before they took that shot. But Fort Worth saw it too, as they had the safety and the corner covering him like a blanket. Like a piece of bread around a hot dog. Wrapped around him.
As a look at Quintero. They're going to go 90 all slants here. Gun straight is the formation. 4-1 dime.
Oh, my goodness.
There's the slants. It's tipped it away. And Denver is going to walk out of here with an L because Fort Worth has just converted a turnover on downs.
Delaney Nash and company makes a play on the ball, gets up, waves to the fans who came and are still in attendance. I'm not sure if they too drunk to know what's going on or not, but he looked at him and said, "Thanks for coming. Good night and drive home safely. We about to come out here in victory formation, put this game away, and come out of here a winner."
Outstanding defensive play there by the Fort Worth Toros in that 4-1 dime against 90 all slants, which is basically a killer play. Versus that single linebacker in the middle of the defense. Next weekend on Next Level Sports, coverage of the SFL and Next Level Sports continues Saturday, July 30th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern with the Baltimore Vultures in Portland Fleet with live look-ins on Sioux Falls and Indianapolis. Sunday, July 31st. You'll see Fort Worth try their hand at the in-state in-state rival Houston Headhunters at 8:45 p.m. Eastern, with live look-ins as well on Louisiana and Arizona. For a channel guide and more info about NXT, visit nlse.com. Coming up on the APM Music Sports, APM Music post-game update, Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green wrap up the clash between the Nightwings and the Toros, review the Sunday slate, and preview next week's Next Level Sports Saturday Spotlight and Sunday Showcase matchups. It's all coming up on the post-game update with Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green. Eddie Gage, let's talk about the second half here. Denver was leading at the halftime, 21-14, something like that, and then Fort Worth basically took over the game.
They did. I mean, Denver was down big just last week to Louisiana, scored 20-plus unanswered points to come back and win this game. This time, they have the lead going into the half, unable to hold on to it, and Fort Worth comes in, steals a victory. They were the underdogs, and Denver came in here unable to handle their business, and Fort Worth walks away a winner.
Yeah, I most definitely have to give the kudos to the offense of Fort Worth, basically knowing who they are. And this is a run offensive team. They're not a passing team. And I think Fort Worth knows that, and that the best way for them to win is put the ball in their best player's hands. And their best player tonight was Jason Williams, as Williams went on to carry this Fort Worth offense on the ground with a total of 18 attempts, 145 yards, 2 touchdowns, yard per carriage, 8.1 yards per attempt, with a long of 64, 3 receptions and 14 yards on the receiving end there. And those are the numbers of Jason Williams. And I'm pretty sure this guy will be your player of the game.
He absolutely will. And don't look now, Damon, but Fort Worth has now beating Florida and Denver in back-to-back weeks. That's an amazing job of that coaching staff.
It is an amazing break, Eddie, but we're going to go to a 2-minute break before we go to the post-game with Cameron Irvine and Mike St. Green. I was your play-by-play commentator today, Damon Simeon, alongside my good buddy, Eddie Gage. Send him home.
Arizona, I love y'all. We didn't do our job today, but the rest of the division, they didn't do theirs either. We'll be back next week.
Welcome to Sim Football Post Game. There we go. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. I think the action tonight has broken us, Mike. We've got a live look in there at the bottom of the screen on Sioux Falls and Motor City going on live right now. Sioux Falls is down by 3. And Mike, catch the people up on what they've been missing on this.
Basically, Sioux Falls very fortunate to be down by 3. The Motor City with a great offensive performance, over 500 yards of total offense. They just went up with a field goal by Caleb Richardson, second on the day, to put them up by 3. And the Sioux Falls Sparrows right now with their last-ditch effort to try to tie this game will go ahead.
Motor City's been playing an epic game, and Denver, or Fort Worth rather, played an epic performance in their matchup with Denver. Sioux Falls go. Oh! One-handed, Mike. Motor City going to win the game. They were 13.5-point dogs at home tonight.
Yeah, 13.5-point dogs. Mark Kaufman coming away with a great one-handed leaping interception to put the game away.
Woo.
And the V8s are going to go to 2-1, Cam, and that's definitely surprising everyone around the SFL.
Man, look at that. That is a sensational win for Motor City. 23-20 over Sioux Falls. They improved to 2-1, and another unbeaten team goes down, Mike. And by my count, I believe it's just Baltimore and London left. Is that right?
Yeah, I believe you're correct, Cam. Baltimore and London, only 2 undefeateds left, and hey, fortunate for London, they don't have to play Baltimore this season. So maybe we can see how that goes all the way up until the end of the season. That same London team, as we just mentioned, they take on Motor City next week at home. That should be a great matchup up there in the North Division.
We've had a flurry of activity here in the last couple of minutes here in the SFL. Let's go back to that Fort Worth and Denver game. 27-21. Fort Worth takes down Denver, and they really did it. They did it with the defensive stop at the end, but they really did it with Jason Williams there late in the fourth quarter. He ended up being the better back, even though Bailey O'Shaughnessy was dominant in the first half.
Yeah, Bailey O'Shaughnessy had a great game, Cam, 168 yards, but majority of that was in the first half, as you mentioned. But Jason Williams was a very steady, all game long, ended up with 147 yards, a couple of touchdowns, the only 2 offensive touchdowns that Fort Worth had. They also had a great performance from their defense. Nacho Sicario had a pick 6 early in the second quarter. And can't say enough about J.L. Browning, the linebacker. 10 tackles in this game, 10 solo tackles in this game. Did a great job of keeping that Denver offense in check for majority of the second half. After they scored 14 in the first half, I only gave them 7 in the second, and they did a great job of keeping the Denver offense off the field.
A wild way to end the week, Mike, and week 3 is in the books. As mentioned, Baltimore and London are your lone unbeatens through 3 weeks. We talked about some winless teams earlier. You got Seattle, Portland. Who are we missing here?
Jacksonville,
Canton. That's your 4, I believe. Those 4 are looking to get off the schneid in week 4. Of those teams, which one do you most believe in right now? It's tough sledding with some youth down there. Canton, Jacksonville, Seattle, and Portland.
Wow, I'm going to have to say Portland, simply because Portland has played a lot of tight games. They are able to score points. The defense has kind of been surprisingly disappointing this season, giving up more points than we're accustomed to seeing them do. But I think Portland, of those 4 that we mentioned, they're probably most ready to probably take a step and win a ball game.
And Portland's got that. I mean, Jacksonville's in such a tough division in the East. It's just really hard to see how they're going to do. Canton and Motor City Motor City making things interesting in the North. So Canton's got some work to do on that front as well. But the Classics do have Queen City and Tulsa coming up 2 of their next 3 games, which are winnable ball games at this point. But right now, Mike, as far as what my takeaway is from the first 3 weeks, is it's Baltimore and everyone else. London has looked great in the first few weeks, but everyone else has shown blemishes, and Baltimore just keeps on trucking.
if Baltimore keeps on trucking, of course, it's Baltimore and everyone else until someone proves differently. But I have been really impressed with what the London Knights have done coming out the first 3 weeks of the season. Robert Merrill, I mean, he was fantastic yesterday, 355 yards rushing. He leads the league right now with close to 700 yards rushing for the first 3 weeks of the season, which is kind of like a bizarro world for London, because I think Merrill probably had 355 for the entire season last season, because London was such a pass-heavy team over the past couple of seasons, and he's done a fantastic job. They've done a great job of getting things switched over to what they want to do this year, and hey, they're 3-0, and I think they can compete right now, at least with what they have in front of them. I think they're in good shape. But yeah, of course, Baltimore definitely the class of the league until someone proves anything different.
So your Sunday scores: Minnesota takes care of Queen City 34-22. Arizona falls to Mexico City 45-24 on the stadium renaming night, Estadio Matt Wilson. And then Motor City pulls out a huge one against Sioux Falls 23-20. And here in Fort Worth, the Toros defeated the Nightwings 27-21. Mike put a bow on this wonderful Week 3. Week 4 action is coming up: Baltimore, Portland, Fort Worth, Houston next weekend.
Yeah, Baltimore, Portland, we just mentioned both of those teams. That's going to be a tough game for Baltimore. For Portland to try to get that zero, off that win column and get a win in there. And then Fort Worth and Houston next weekend, next Sunday night. Both teams 2-1. Division rivalries. That sets up a huge matchup for next Sunday night. I can't wait for the action next weekend. It should be fantastic, and look forward to being here again with you next week.
Should be a lot of fun, Mike. And next week I'll be in a little bit of a new studio, and maybe I won't have to lean so much. Get that, got to get that upgrade out here in Week 4, Mike. But it was great being here with you always. Thanks to all of our great commentators, broadcasters, statisticians, everyone that helps out in the Simulation Football League. It takes a village. Over 700 players in the SFL and counting. If you want more information, simulationfl.net. Hit the Create a Player button. For Mike, I'm Cam. We'll see you next weekend. What a wild way to end Week 3. Good night, everybody.